Hey guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the new Voltron Legendary Defender 5-inch action figure offerings from Playmates Toys. That's right, we've got a whole slew of new Voltron action figures hitting store shelves right now, and you might have already seen my review of the larger scale Legendary Voltron, which is your combiner. Well, there's also a series of smaller 5-inch just regular old action figures in this line, and today we're going to take a look at a small smattering of that. We've got ourselves the Yellow Lion, the Blue Lion, and Lion Attack Voltron, so thought it'd be kind of cool just to see what these are all about. Now, as you can see, each of the figures kind of come in their own styled blister cards. The Blue Lion and Voltron over here are in like a standard blister bubble, fully showcasing our action figure within, and when you rotate this around to the back side of the box, it kind of lets you know some of the features of the particular figure. You can see we've got a pouncing attack with the Blue Lion. With Voltron here, this particular one will fire the Green Lion's head off as a missile, which is pretty cool. And looking down at the lower portion, you can see all of the figures in this current 5-inch lineup. So they've got all 5 lions that you can get as just standard smaller action figures. These do not combine. These are just regular figures. There's 2 different versions of Voltron, being Lion Attack, which we have here, and also a Sword Attack version. And then there's Myzax, which is one of the row beasts that we saw in the first season of the Netflix series. Now, the Yellow Lion, you can see, actually comes in a bit of a different blister bubble. His is opened so that you can actually try the action feature in the box. But the back side is just like the others, showing you the powerful swiping attacks, and again, showcasing all of the other figures in this 5-inch lineup. So, let's go and get these guys removed from the packages and take a closer look at them. Alright, so we've got our smaller 5-inch scale figures outside of the box. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. We'll start with our little lions here. So first up, we've got the Blue Lion. You can see they are a lot smaller in my hands compared to the larger ones we saw with like the Legendary Voltron. And really, these guys have a nice sculpt to them, because he does a great job of looking exactly like you would expect the Blue Lion to look in the animated series. And paint apps aren't too bad, though they are pretty minimal. We've got the blues seen throughout, which of course is the most important color on this particular lion. We do have nice reds kind of seen throughout there as well. Looks like the plastic used is mostly just kind of this gray color, a little bit of silvers on there, so not so bad on this, and he looks pretty neat. I will say, outside of the sculpt, you're not really going to get a lot of articulation or posability out of this guy. This is a very gimmicky toy. In fact, the thing that I've noticed when I open these up, and that we're going to see with all of them, the 5-inch figures are the very gimmicky toys. They all have action features, and that's pretty much all they are good for, are those action features. So the Blue Lion here has a pouncing feature, and the way that works is both his hind legs and his front legs are spring-loaded. So you can see they move together in unison. And what will happen is you'll actually lock those in place. So you can see we can lock the back legs and the front legs in place. So he's kind of down in this little cat-like pounce motion. And then there's a little button on his back. And when you press the button, he springs forward to do a pounce. It's kind of a fun little feature, but like I said, that is all that you're really going to get out of this guy. The head, you can see, is very loose, because it's kind of meant to look down and then bounce up when he pounces. So there's really no posing with this guy whatsoever. He's really only made so he can do this. Boom! You kind of have to take your finger away pretty fast to get it to work. Also, the front legs don't like to lock in place all the time. There we go. Boom! And there it is. That is your pouncing Blue Lion. So if we bring in our Yellow Lion here, very, very similar stuff. He's got a little bit of articulation. You can see the back legs you can kind of move there and you can position. They are nice and tight, which is pretty cool. And look at that. He even has little knee joints there. So you can bend the back legs. So that's already way more articulation than we saw with the Blue Lion. The front legs, they don't really pose. They are very loose because that is for his action feature. But you can see, overall sculpt is pretty neat. The face looks a little plain there. You can see probably the yellow of the eyes really blends in with the yellow that they used of the face, but he does have some nice metallic silvers kind of seen there, which is pretty neat. So, but you can see mostly he is just molded in like the yellow plastic here and the gray plastics down here, and the tail can move up and down, but that's really all we're going to get. His action feature is a paw swipe. And the way we do that is by actually moving his little back piece. So basically, this is what we get out of this guy. It's a literal cat fight. Get away from me. Get away from me. Yeah, that's really all we get. It's just a paw swipe with our yellow lion there. So again, that is going to hinder what you can do with them. Now, like I said, the sculpts are nice. And honestly, if you guys just want these to stand there on your shelf and look cool, they do look cool. And honestly, they're made for kids. So kids might enjoy those action features. It's just good to know what you're getting out of these before you buy them. Get out of here. Ooh, cat fight. So with those guys out of the way, let's go ahead and bring in our 5-inch Voltron action figure. So, just like with the cats, this is a very gimmicky Voltron, and there's not a lot going on here. In fact, articulation is very limited. Also, the paint apps are going to be pretty limited as well. Now, he does still feature the right colors, right? Your green, your red, your black, your blue, your yellow. You gotta have those, otherwise he doesn't look like Voltron. We do have a lot of nice metallic silvers on there, and there's some golds on there as well, but they didn't paint any of the little details. So you'll notice, like, if we look real close at the face, it's just straight silver. There's no painted details on the face whatsoever. And that kind of happens all the way through. So you can see there's, no extra real details painted in on the lions or anything like that. So it's very, very basic with this guy. And articulation is pretty minimal here. The wings don't move. They are locked in place. They are, however, on pegs. So if you want to pull those off of his back, you can do that, but they don't raise up for flight or anything like that. They're always just going to be stuck laying down. This is the version that fires the green lion's head as a missile. So the way that this works is you can see the green lion's head is just a projectile missile, and the arm is actually stuck in this bent pose because they just made the forearm a blaster for this missile. So you can move the arm up and down here at the shoulder, but it doesn't bend at the elbow or anything like that. So we can just lock this head in place. And what I've noticed on this is it doesn't really stay in. It just keeps popping out. Look at that. It shoots well, but it doesn't stay in place. It just keeps firing out. And now I've lost it. It shot off my table. Here we go. Here it is. But it's not one that even has a push button. So even if you can get it locked into place, it's one of the ones where it comes all the way through the arm, and you would then just have to basically press on the back and get it to launch off. Well, it's gone now. It just blasted all the way across the room. So you can see it fires really well. It's just a bummer that it doesn't stay in place. Otherwise, with articulation, the head just turns left and right. The right arm, the red lion there, can move up and down, and he also bends at the elbow, and he swivels there, which is really nice. So we have some decent articulation in this arm, just really nothing over here. The waist can turn left and right. The legs move forwards and backwards slightly, and also bend at the knees, but in typical Playmates fashion, like we've always seen with the Ninja Turtles, they put this guy in a stance. His feet don't move. They're flat, which means there's only one way you can actually stand this guy on the shelf. So that makes it almost meaningless that you can move the legs forwards and backwards, because the only way you can get him to stand is in this pose right here because of the way that the feet are positioned. So they're not bad. I'm not saying that these are bad toys. I'm just saying that you got to know what you're getting with these. These are meant to be kind of action feature oriented figures. Alright guys, how about a little bit of comparison time? Just for fun, let's stand this new 5-inch scale Voltron alongside some of the other smaller Voltron figures that have come out in the past years, just so you can see what this guy looks like on par with those. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at a sampling of some of the new 5-inch Lions and Voltron figures from Playmates Toys. Like I said, they're not bad. I mean, the figures are nicely made, there's good quality, the action features work. It's just a matter if you want figures with action features or not. So like I said earlier on, it's just good to know what you're getting before you buy them. I actually prefer the larger stuff like Ultimate Voltron in this line is a nicely articulated giant Voltron figure, so maybe that is something that you're more after. And I do hope to see Playmates do the actual pilots in a 5-inch scale at some point. I think that would be incredible, but I do hope that they are not hindered by gimmicks like these here. I want some really cool 5-inch scale action figures, so I really hope that's in the works, Playmates. I really hope that's coming. I do want to give a very special thanks to the folks at Playmates Toys for sending these guys along so we can get a good look at them outside of the packaging. If this looks like something that you do want to add to your collection or pick up for your kids, these are hitting store shelves right now, so happy hunting, my friends! And hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave me a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of my toy reviews. Until next time, my friends.